Hey guys, day 21 here. Day 21. We are almost done with the month of November, and I hope that I'm almost done with this cold. We're coming around the corner. I can see the light up ahead. We're coming around the corner. It's getting better. Not 100%, but it's getting better, so I'm very happy with that. I still, so I've kind of moved away from like the super congested phase, and I'm more into the coughing phase now. My colds kind of come in these cycles, and it may be the same for everybody. I've just never polled everybody about, hey, how does your cold work? But I usually start in cycles. So like I normally start to notice that my throat starts to get a little bit sore, but not too crazy. And then like the next day, it's like avalanche of like congestion in my head. Starts up in the sinuses because I've got issues in my sinuses, and then it works its way down to my throat where I start coughing like a madman. I hope that I can go 5 minutes and not cough your ears off. I mean, I could just edit it, and I likely will. I won't subject you to that. Yeah, so that's kind of the situation right now. It is Thursday. We are one day away from the weekend, and hopefully a day closer to this whole getting over the sickness. That will be amazing. So that is the status of my cold right now. I actually just got home from the post office, and I'm getting ready to do some yoga. But what I did something a little bit different today. And so I'm going to share it here on the podcast because there's a good chance that one of you listening may be the benefitor or benefitee or whatever. I don't know what the word is. Just make up your own shit. One of you will benefit from this. And that is that I went on my Instagram a couple of weeks ago, and I put out a poll, and some people participated in the poll, and I won't say what the poll was, but I picked somebody from that poll. You know, normally how a giveaway works, especially on Instagram, because, you know, giveaways are a cool way to give back to your audience, to your community, whatever word you want to use to describe the people that you follow and communicate with. I like to call it community. A good thing about a giveaway is it's a great way to build that community. So if you have a message that you want out there, if you have something to plug, one of the greatest ways to do it is a giveaway. Typically how a giveaway goes, you pick a prize and you tell everybody to comment on a photo, tag their friends, follow your account, follow this account, follow 5 other accounts, whatever. And you're entered into this giveaway. And then, you know, you pick one. And the idea is that when a bunch of people comment on the photo, it creates engagement, and Instagram will bump it higher up in the explore feed to get you more attention. And now I've had great success with this as I was trying to spread the word about my clothing line, Hard Work Always Wins, hardworkalwayswins.com. This was a great way to boost, the awareness of it. And what I would do is I'd usually give away like 3 shirts. I'd pick 3 winners, and that's how it will work. But I haven't done one in over a year now. And I was sitting here thinking about this earlier, a couple weeks ago, and I was like, why the hell haven't I done a giveaway? And I think back to the month of September and parts of October, I was just absolutely depressed and kind of dejected and just kind of out of my normal range. And then I changed up my entire schedule. And so I'm kind of, other than getting sick, I feel like I'm in a really good mental space. And I was just like, why haven't I done a giveaway in a long time? And when I asked myself this question, it was just like, well, I don't know, Gary, but you probably should. It would be pretty cool. People would probably really enjoy it. But like, what is there a way to do it differently? And, because everybody does the same shit. We all copy off each other at one point or another. It's going to happen. I mean, like I said before, people have ripped stuff off of me, and I know in the past I've ripped stuff off of people. It happens. So you try to like think like, how can I get creative with this stuff? How can I, do something different? How can I, give back, but be different about it? And so basically I did this poll, and, I don't know how many people replied back to it, probably 50, 60, whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm looking down the line. I'm like, okay, I know this name. I know this name. I know this name. I know this name. And then I just picked one at random. I was like, oh, this is a cool person. This person is, part of the community. somebody that I actually interact with, somebody that's good in the community, that is a good friend of people in the community, a good supporter of people in the community. It'd be really cool to get back to that person. And there are many of you like that out there. In fact, a ton of you. And at some point, if I have my way, we're going to be giving back to everybody at some point. But there has to be a first one. So this person was selected and I had their address, because that's probably the number one question. My DMs have been getting hit like, yo, how do you even know people's address? And, I know how sensitive that information can be. And I promise that I'm only using it for good. And that is that, I have your address. So I'm just going to send you some free stuff, right? It's just like you ask somebody for their address. And, normally you ask them, can I send you something? I just didn't do that. I just went ahead and sent something. And I'll be doing it differently. There'll be some email stuff that I can send out and stuff like that as well. So I don't want to divulge all my plans yet. I'd like to at least get a few weeks or a couple months of doing this before it becomes like a new trend amongst the Instagram community. But it starts today. And this is the season of giving. And you know what? I thought about this a lot. I'll share a quick story. I shared it on a podcast about a year ago, but we've got a lot more listeners listening now than we did a year ago. So I was at Busch Gardens and my buddy had given me a season pass. He was with a girl and they had split up during that time, and her pass was unclaimed. So he gave me her season pass. I mean, we've been best friends for 20 years. He's like, yo, whatever, just, you can have this. And we'd go together a couple times a year. And one of the perks of having this pass is that you have, bring a friend, bring a friend. Well, I already got my friend, and guess what? He already has a pass. So these passes are literally going to go to waste. Now, the hustler in somebody might say, well, man, I could probably sell this, flip it for a nice little profit. But me, I remember I went to the kiosk, because they have a kiosk at Busch Gardens, and you swipe your card and it'll tell you, this is what you have on your card. Like, do you have the dining plan? Do you have this? Do you have that? Okay. And it'll say you have, bring a friend. So, you can print that out, but you have to use it right then and there. So I remember going out and I seen, and it's kind of hard too, because you have, a lot of people in groups. And so it's like, oh, is this a couple? I only have one pass. And at the time I could not afford to, just buy two passes or buy one pass and give the other pass away for free. So, I found somebody, it was an older lady who's in the line waiting by herself. And I said, hey, do you need a ticket? And she's like, yeah, well, I'm in line. I'm going to buy a ticket. And I was like, well, actually, I just have one here. I mean, you can have it. It's not no problem. And she kind of looked at me like, yeah, but what do you want for it? Because that's the thought, right? Like, what do you want for it? I was like, I don't want anything. I was actually like, no, I take that back. I just want you to go in and have the time of your life today, because it was the end of summer, and I know I get depressed as hell around the end of summer. I feel like it's the end of my life, and here comes fall and the winter, and it gets dark early, and oh God, my life is falling apart. That's probably why I get depressed around the month of September. But I was like, no, just go in there and have the time of your life. And she just started bawling. Like, this had made her day. She's like, I was trying to figure out how I was going to pay for money to eat. I was trying to figure out how I was going to get the money to have a couple of, bottles of water and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, we just solved that one. And I gave her the pass. She gave me a big hug. And it's funny because her name was actually Mary, which is the name of my grandmother. Now, she wasn't quite that old. She was probably more like my mother's age, if I had to guess. But I thought that was kind of like a nice, cool thing that her name happened to be Mary, which was my grandmother's name and my mother's mother. And so I gave her the pass, and I ran into her later in the day, and she had said she was having a blast. And I was like, that's so awesome. And so just like that, I kind of got inspired. Now, I've kind of fallen, into traps where, I've been bad with money in the past. And when I was younger, I had very selfish tendencies. I think this is a trait I picked up from my biological father, because I know, He was very stingy with his money at times, and I'm trying to get better about that. And one of the things, sorry, I knew there was going to be at least one cough. I've been silent for most of the day, so I was like, oh God, maybe I won't cough. And so, one of the things now, I'm in a position where people buy stuff from my store, hardworkalwayswins.com, or maybe there are people like you listening that could be a member of my Patreon, where you donate money to me and I, in turn, put that money back in the podcast. And what I would like to start doing in the future going forward is taking a percentage of what I make from that Patreon and giving it back to the community, and just surprising you guys at random. That's what I want to do. So I won't go into too much more than that because I went way over 5 minutes, first of all. Second of all, I'm going to kind of just flesh this thing out and figure out my plan with it. But I have a general idea what I'm doing with it. And you never know. You might be hearing from me, and might have something for you. And we're going to be doing some giveaways here on the podcast, specifically to the podcast audience, some Instagram specific giveaways, and some giveaways to the customers of my shop. So with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. The emoji of the day, let's do a gift box, because it's all about the gift, giving, the gift of giving, right? And also, if you've ever done this, I would like for you to share with me. I won't share it if you don't want me to share it. Some people, they don't want the attention. But if you've ever done like a really cool random act of kindness, what was that? I'd love to hear from you. DM me at Gary Cantrell, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks for listening.